Your cat isn't hiding in that box. It's running an ancient survival program built by a predator that once stalked open desert. Expensive toy on one side of the room, empty cardboard box on the other. Your cat ignores the toy, folds itself into the box. Here's what's actually happening. Scientists just found out why. Picture a wildcat on the edge of a grassland. No claws sharp enough to fight off a bigger predator. No pack backing it up. Just one small hunter, alone, exposed. What does an animal like that do when it can't win a fight? It disappears. A crack in a rock, a hollow log, a tangle of dry brush. These aren't decorations in its world. They're armor. What good is armor if nothing can get behind it? Fast forward to your living room. A plain cardboard box on the floor. 4 solid walls. One open side facing outward, toward you, toward the room, toward anything that might approach. Nothing can get behind it. Nothing can surprise it. So does an old wildcat instinct actually respond to a cardboard box in a living room? Claudia Vinke, a researcher at Utrecht University, put that instinct to the test. Her team studied cats arriving at a Dutch shelter. New smells, new cages, strangers reaching in, other animals barking 2 rooms away. 19 cats were split into 2 groups. 10 got a plain cardboard box in their enclosure. 9 got nothing but a blanket and a bowl. Could one flap of cardboard really make a measurable difference? Every day, staff scored each cat on how tightly it curled, how fast its ears flattened at a footstep, how long it took to relax near a stranger. By day 3, the box group already showed noticeably lower stress scores than the group without one. The boxless cats stayed pressed against the back wall, coiled and wary, days longer than the cats who had somewhere to disappear. One flap of cardboard was doing more for these animals than a soft voice or a gentle hand ever could. But is hiding really the whole story? Watch a cat curl into a box and its whole body changes shape. Nose tucked under a paw, tail wrapped tight. Every limb pulled in against the torso. Why fold up that tightly just to sit in a box? Because that's not comfort. That's a furnace. A cat's ideal temperature isn't your ideal temperature. Your thermostat sits around 20 degrees Celsius. Your cat's body wants somewhere closer to 32. How does an animal close a 10-degree gap all on its own? That's 10 degrees higher than the room you're sitting in right now. Cardboard is a terrible conductor of heat, which for a cat is the entire point. Trap a cat's own body heat inside 4 thin walls, and that little pocket of air turns into a portable sauna, radiating its own warmth right back at the animal curled inside it. Except that's not the whole reason either. So what else is a box actually doing? Go back to that wildcat one more time. It isn't only hiding from bigger predators, it's also a hunter itself. And hunters like this one don't chase, they wait. What happens if it moves too soon? A bird lands near a bush. A mouse crosses open ground near a hollow log. The cat stays completely still until the exact moment it can strike without warning. A cardboard box recreates that hunting blind perfectly. Walls on 3 sides, one clear sightline out, a body compressed low and ready to launch. Why does the body need to compress at all? Ears rotate toward the doorway. Tail tip flicks once, twice, then goes still. Every toy that vanishes under a couch, every ankle that gets ambushed in a hallway, that's the same wiring firing from inside a box built for exactly this. What happens to that ambush logic if the box faces a wall instead of the open room? A hiding spot with no sightline isn't shelter to a hunter's brain. It's a trap. The box has to let the cat see out just as much as it keeps the cat hidden. Turns out the box doesn't even need to be a box. Gabriella Smith, a researcher at Hunter College in New York, ran an experiment that should sound impossible. No cardboard box at all. Just 4 Pac-Man-shaped pieces of paper, taped to the floor, each turned so its cut corner pointed inward. No connecting lines between them, no solid edge anywhere. So how could a shape like that fool anything? And yet, to a cat's eye, those 4 disconnected shapes snapped together into the outline of a square that was never actually drawn. Cats sought out that illusion and sat inside it almost as often as they sat inside a real taped-out square. Far more than they chose a control shape with the same 4 pieces of paper turned the wrong way, forming no square at all. How can a cat sit inside a shape that was never actually drawn? Their brains were reading edges their eyes had never actually confirmed. Something deep in a cat's visual wiring fills in the missing lines between 4 disconnected corners. The same trick human brains fall for with certain optical illusions, where a triangle or a circle seems to float in empty space between a few scattered shapes. A cat's brain doesn't just register the suggestion of a corner and move on. It commits its whole body to the idea, walks over, and folds itself down inside a shape that technically was never there. So the next time your cat abandons a brand new toy for the box it came in, that's not a personality quirk, and it's not your cat being difficult. It's not even really about the box. It's an ancient survival program, still running, built by a hunter that once had nowhere to hide but a crack in the rock. And it will follow 4 pieces of tape on your kitchen floor just as fast as it follows a flap of cardboard.